I'm Dan Jones, I'm the composer and creator of music for 7 Ice Cream Vans. Well, the idea came to me a long time ago, back in 2000. I unsuccessfully tried to get it on around about that time and spent quite a while working on a piece called Sky Orchestra, which is music for 7 hot air balloons. But the idea with the Ice Cream Van piece is that I just thought it would be amazing if people heard ice cream vans playing different kinds of music, possibly more akin to medieval music or kind of mysterious, magical music, rather than match the Dale Greensleeves that you normally hear. And I also thought it would be amazing. One of my specialities, I suppose, is working with surround sound, is if people might hear one of those vans at first in the distance calling from afar, and then a second one playing the same piece of music but a different part of it, and then eventually all 7 vans creating a sort of giant acoustic landscape around the listener. And as somebody who's written a lot of film music, I know that music can completely rewrite a scene. It sounds a bit presumptuous, but it can change the intention of an actor in a scene in a film. You can make something mysterious, happy, sad, dark, menacing. You can make somebody distrustful of their environment or totally at peace with the world, using exactly the same footage but a different piece of music. And this is, in a way, a method of scoring people's real lives. But rather than people carrying that music in an iPod and wandering around the city in their own private space, I very much hope it's a way of bringing people together by playing the music across an entire suburb, so that everybody can feel that sort of change in the atmosphere around them. Well, ice cream vans for me are a fantastic musical instrument. They have their limitations. They have a small musical scale. They have only one kind of sound. So I found that quite frustrating in some ways as a composer, only to be able to work with this one sound. If you write a piece of orchestral music, you've got 20 or 30 different basic instrumental colours at your disposal, and many more combinations, an infinite number of combinations. Whereas this is just the one sound. But one thing they do absolutely brilliantly is they call over long distances. And I just thought that would be the ideal candidate for creating a giant surround sound piece. They have all kinds of strong associations with childhood memories. And I can remember when I was in single figures, quite a long time ago now, sitting on a pavement in the hot sunny weather, possibly in 1976, hearing that sound in the distance and never being sure as to whether it would come your way, because you can hear them possibly up to a mile away on a good day. And so there's basically it's the idea of using ice cream vans actually came from a film I was working on at the time, where I actually wondered whether it would be possible to write the whole film score using ice cream. The collaboration for Lift came about because I've worked with Mark Ball several times before, not least on Sky Orchestra, which has a similar idea behind it, in the sense that we use 7 hot air balloons to create a piece of music over a city. And Mark has championed that right from its first days, took it on to work with the RSC, where we did a new commission for them for the Complete Works Festival. And I'm totally grateful for his commitment and vision for having recognised this as being a piece that would work for Lift. And I think it's also part of a vision which he and Lift have created for this season and possibly before, of introducing work which enters people's everyday lives, rather than people having to go into a closed space necessarily to experience work. That this is something which will actually come into people's lives. And it's very much, as somebody described it rather beautifully, as a kind of magic realism, meaning that it's something almost supernatural in a way, almost magical, that happens to people, that they might be sitting in their garden just cleaning their barbecue or having a barbecue, and this extraordinary magical music, I hope, will pervade the atmosphere around them, and whether or not they were expecting it, and quite a lot of people won't have known about it before it happens, it will change their day in a way which creates memories that they share with the community around them. Well, what we're used to hearing on ice cream vans are very short snippets of music that last probably about 30 to 40 seconds. And the reason for that, very good, is that there's inside the ice cream van itself is a little box, and inside that box is a little musical chime, and exactly the same sort that you'd find in a sort of toy musical chime or a jewellery box type affair. And those chimes have an electric pickup on them, which is pretty similar to what you'd use for an electric guitar. Now, originally I wanted to go and get new chimes, these actual mechanical chimes made in the Swiss factory that produces them, but I realised there were two limitations. First was they produce thousands of these at once, and that's what makes it cost effective, and it would be terribly expensive. And the other is that I would only have a piece of music that's 40 seconds long, and I wanted to be able to ring the changes a bit more. So I decided to, I bought one of these things on eBay. In fact, I bought 10 of them eventually, and I took them apart, and what I did is I intercepted the signal at the point at which it left the box, recorded it with the highest quality equipment I could, and then I've injected it. I've then created my own music, and I've injected that signal back in just as if it were an ice cream van chime, back into the signal path, into these fantastic trumpets that they're not like traditional hi-fi speakers. They actually have a trumpet with a speaker right at the end, and it's that which creates the ice cream van sound. In fact, these trumpets are pointing at the floor, at the tarmac, and all of these things, the way the vans move, creating a Doppler effect, it creates all those musical sort of colours that we associate with ice cream vans, and I was very, very keen to try and duplicate that as authentically as possible, so that people's memories were triggered. In the same way that, say, somebody like Heston Blumenthal would go to a great deal of trouble to get the flavour of ice cream. So, this is Google Earth, obviously. I'm going to just zoom in on Norwich, where, thanks to the Norwich Festival, we premiered the work. Now, what you can see here are 7 different coloured tracks of the van's routes to different suburbs. And actually, if I show you one of these maps, we produced, can you refocus on that? We produced an atlas for each driver, showing them the different suburbs we wanted them to go to. Starting here, and this is actually the oldest suburb in the oldest council estate in England. What I'd done is I'd given them mobile phone MPEG-3 players, and each of those had a GPS signal on it, which enabled us to track their positions. So if I show you, we started in the park down here. The first place they had to get to was here. So if we play the timeline, you should be able to see each dot represents a different van. It's duplicated several times. Up they go, and the reason I've duplicated that, it just makes it easier to see the tracks and their movement. That was Norwich on the night of the 21st of May, and we'll be doing something very similar in Canning Town on the 17th of July.